What's up? Good morning. It's so good to see you. It's Friday, TGIF. Gonna finish strong today. Last day of the week before we head into the weekend. Apologies to everyone. Yesterday I didn't make an aftermarket video. The kids and the wife wanted to go watch Superman, so we went to go watch Superman. It was an awesome movie. But that was last night, and this morning I decided to make a video on SPY and QQQ and Tesla and Coin and IWM and of course NVDA to make up for it. We're looking at the daily chart of SPY right now. I had a decent day with the trading yesterday. It was not a big move, but it was decent. I had a 624 level that I was watching for yesterday, and it cleared on that 15-minute chart. And when it clears on the 15-minute chart, what do? I usually look to enter longs or calls and bet to the upside, play it level to level. Had a 626 level. Eventually we hit that level as well. It tried to break out, but overall it didn't go much higher. I had a 628 level. Never made it there. Ran out of steam at the end of the day. But despite that bounce, and we can see it was a new all-time high close, set a new record. This morning we are gapping down. So bull's been having a lot of fun lately. Hopefully a lot of my viewers that were bullish made a lot of money, but bulls need to be careful right now. When we look in the past, I can always scroll to the left and show you guys what happened in the past. And usually what happens in the past when we usually get a top is it starts off with a false breakout setup. That's when we clear a resistant level and then we break back below that resistant level. That's a false breakout setup. But not all false breakout gives us that traditional breakdown of support. Sometimes the false breakout comes in the form of an exhaustion gap down. A lot of times that happens, which is why I have to mention to the bulls to be very careful, because that's exactly what we're getting, is a gap down. We look at where we closed yesterday at 625.8. As of recording this, you guys can see in my chart, my pre-market info here, it says 621.9. That's a decent sized gap down as of right now. Now, I'm not saying the top is in, but what I am saying is bulls must be careful, and I encourage all my viewers to watch the price action behavior at market open. Because usually when I see something like this, one of two things can happen. We get a gap down, and if it ends up bullish, because it looked like the market makers was just trying to get people excited, want to get people bearish. Oh, we're gap down, and then get people to bet to the downside and they push it back up. Or another reason they do this gap down is that too many were bullish up here, getting too comfortable being bullish. They gap it down. Anyone who entered here screwed them over, and once they cover their stop loss or whatever it is they're gonna do, they'll squeeze it back to the upside. So that's the possible whys, the possible tricks the market makers could be doing. Now, if it does end up bearish, what you want to see at market open is support continues to fail. Because if it gapped down and it continues to drop down, that's when you see, okay, fear's taking over. We're likely dropping another $5 to $10 to the downside. And that's your sign that a top could be in. So right now, I can't say for sure that we're heading down, but I can say that there are signs. So it's on us right now to identify the important levels based on the context, the important pivot levels, so we know if it's going to continue to go down or is actually going to go back up. This gap down was just a trick to get people excited. So with that being said, based on this context, the levels are a little different from yesterday. Today I am watching that 623 level. We cleared that level on July 9th, and yesterday we back tested that level as a support, and we had buying pressure, as you can see on the chart, but we are gapping down below it right now. So if this gap down that we're having this morning is just a false alarm and it's actually not the beginning of the top, you want to see 623 clear. If SPY even attempts to go for the gap fill, that's a sign that it's most likely going to fill the gap and probably go up even higher. Because if it's truly an exhaustion gap, the price wouldn't even attempt a gap fill. So if you're a bear, that's what you want to see. You want to see SPY not attempt a gap fill. That would require SPY not recapturing that 623 level. So that's the level to watch today. Above it, we can get a bounce back to all-time highs, and below it, this could be the beginning of a major pullback. So if 623 clears, I have 624.5 and 626 plus in play, and there's a good chance we'll clear it on the next test. But if we stay below 623 and we start breaking down 621, 619.5, and 618, we start breaking down those levels, that's a good sign that SPY will likely continue to head to the downside, and a daily chart close below 618 would be extremely bearish. Why? Because we have a potential M pattern that could play out. And if we lose 618, that M pattern will be in play fully, and we could get another 10 to 20, maybe $25 move back to the downside. Could be very beautiful. But for today, the plan is 623. Above it, no pullback. Below it, bears have a shot at some downside. QQQ also with its own gap down. Despite the close where we closed at 555.45 yesterday. Now we're at 552.41. So far, a $3 gap down. Not official yet, but like I said, we want to watch behavior. If at open it breaks down 552 and 550 after gapping down, that is extremely bearish price action behavior, and it's a sign that a top could be in. But if we open and we start clearing resistant levels, start clearing 554 and 555.5, this gap down is just a false alarm, and we're likely heading back to 557 and a higher chance of hitting 559 or higher. Here is Tesla with the beautiful bounce yesterday. Let's make one thing clear. The last couple of days I mentioned you want to get bearish and favor more downside if that 295.5 level breaks down. It never broke down, guys. And instead, yesterday it gapped up and pushed higher. So 309.3 is the level to watch today. If there is more upside to be had, 309.3 and 311 must clear. If both those levels clear, we are bullish. We're likely going to test the 200 DMA or higher, 315 or 320 area. But if we're below 309.3, that's bearish. Bearish follow through would definitely be needed, and that would come in the form of breaking down 308 and 306. If we break down those levels, 304, 302, and 300 or lower would be back in play. And if we test 295.5 again, I'm more confident on the next test that we will break it down and we can get a bearish price action continuation. Here is NVDA, gap down just a little bit. It closed at 164 yesterday. It's around 162.7 as of recording this. I have next support at 161.5 and 160 if those levels fail. 158.7 and 157 incoming. If we can stay above 161.5 and we clear 163, 164.5 will be in play again, and above that, new all-time highs at 166 or higher incoming. Now, coin has been very bullish, and it recently took out a pivot high yesterday. 382 was that recent pivot high from June 26. We took it out yesterday. As long as above 382, Unco will remain bullish. We're gapping up though. So from here is around 395. I have the next support at 393.3. That's a fib extension level. If coin can stay above that level, we can continue higher. 399, 400 plus would be in play. But if you want to look to short, if this profit taking time, 393.3 and 392 must fail to go for the gap fill around 389-ish, and below that we can go hit 382, retest it as a support. So what's that 393.3 level? Below it, pullback time, profit taking time. Above it, you can possibly keep on going up. And here is IWM gapping down as well. 223 is the level to watch. We cleared that level the last couple of days, cleared it, turned into support. Now we're below it. If this is just a false alarm to trick out the bears and scare the bulls, you need to see 223 clear to send us back to the upside. 225 and 227 plus would be in play. But if we stay below 223 and we break down 221.5, that's your sign that we're dropping down. 220, 218, and possibly 216 can and will be tested. Always remember, you are a money magnet, and let the price action guide you. React to the setups. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for all your support this week. Let's finish it strong. Peace.